Hello, I did it again. I watched the episode last night and then I fell asleep. In my defense, I was having freezer rebellion issues, but this is the penultimate episode of Harvest. It's the promise of a finale, episode 5 Marvel show. You know, in the other 6 episode series, this is usually an episode which reliably delivers a lot of, delivers a lot of promise. Whether or not that promise ultimately gets delivered is hard to say, but you know, it's kind of, this is what it's usually where we end up at. So I mean, it's certainly adopted a very escalatory fashion, so to speak. Like, well, where do you start? I mean, Talos seems to be definitively dead. He's been cremated, so you can't really go much more from that. Sonya is on the warpath, and this bit, I think, shot about 3 people this episode, just like really casually. I love her so much. She's so great as a character. Nick's committed to his path now. In the brief for this episode, the tag, the description was he was gathering allies. He didn't really gather any allies apart from, I guess, one person who piloted his plane, who I don't know if is important or not, and then Sonya, and that's basically it. But we get basically, so it's confirmed basically what the Skrull plan is to try and find the DNA so they can become Super Skrulls of the Avengers. And after the Battle of Earth, a bunch of Skrulls were sent in to basically harvest all the DNA and make sure that it would fall into the wrong hands. And then Fury locked that away in one of his kind of tombs or headstones. So yeah, that's escalating. He's kind of going around and you know, I don't know. There's several things happen to Fury. He gives us an explanation about why he's doing this on his own, and it's not a great explanation in my opinion. I think a better explanation would be he doesn't want to bring in the Avengers because it's their DNA that they want, and it's kind of wants to keep them far away as possible from this conflict. But it's basically more like a case of it's just personal, and I'm the only one who can deal with it. And I'm like, that's a lot of hubris that isn't really consistent with how I think I've seen Fury in the MCU before. But whatever, I mean, that's his justification. He's clearing the warpath, and we'll have to see where that goes. He, you know, partners with... He spends a lot of his episode basically skulking around. I mean, he doesn't really do... He threatens Rhodes in a really good scene. Not gonna lie, it is a good scene. He gives a pep talk to Gaia, and kind of advises her where to go to get a father and get help.
Motion detected at the front door.
Alexa, volume 0. And then, yeah, he basically sneaks to Finland, meets Sonya, gives a little speech about his motivations, and then kind of goes into Fury mode. You know, he puts his eye patch back on for the first time in this in the modern day part since thing, puts his coat back on. So it's like Fury's like back. Gaia, and I don't know what her name is. I forget, let me remind myself. Fury, what? Oh, Fury, last name. Priscilla. Vara. So yeah, Vara has a nice team with Gaia about kind of a legacy of her father, which I appreciated. And then, you know, they cremate the body and do a funeral, and then the execution squad comes, and it's a really cool scene where she basically has these like tactical vests kept in storage, and has a nice little kind of shootout between the two of them. It's really well choreographed, I think. A lot of pew-pews, nothing too like kind of violent or tense. It was a nice little fun scene, so I appreciated that. And then where do we end? I think that's the last time we saw them. I guess most interesting is kind of the is how Grillick. Is that his name? Why have I blanked? Because Gravik. I don't know who Grillick is. I will get wrong. Gravik basically is escalating, so he's annoyed that they weren't able to kill the president, so they've kind of changed their plans now. Instead of killing the president, they're gonna go instead of kill the president, he's basically trying to hold Fury hostage because what he wants is the harvest. So he's telling Fury, either you give me the harvest DNA, or I'm gonna basically cause a war. And he seems willing to sacrifice the Skrulls to do it. And when he mentions like his plan, and then when he mentions about things going on, one of his like his deputies like, this is a really weird plan. Can we like talk about it? And he basically just executes the guy on a spot. And like they've killed people before, but for failures. He just killed him, I think, just for speaking up against him. And credit where credit's due. Usually, you'd be like, well, why aren't the rest kind of standing up? Because this clearly shows that he doesn't respect her life. And why is this someone you want to lead your cause when you're not like inherently? And I guess we come into the problem here of like other MCU shows where the bad guys aren't necessarily that bad, but so we have to give them bad methodologies. So you stand against them. These group are just refugees. It's a bit different from the refugee situation of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because those are generally innocent refugees who are from Earth. I'm sorry, those refugees are from Earth, and the victims of like, well, what I'm trying to say is the Skrulls rather are refugees of a war they took part. I can't remember actually if they were, how much instigators they were, but like they're not from Earth. It's a bit different. It's a bit less kind of undermining its message kind of thing, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that he basically executes a man for speaking up against him, and everyone's like, whoa, this is a bit too far, and they're trying to kill him back. But unfortunately he wins and beats him because he's, I think, nearly Super Skrull at this point. And so he basically kills like the people who are rebelling, and I guess he gets to form out of fear. Maybe that'll apply back in the future, or maybe this is just a way to hand wave away why they're so loyal against someone who clearly doesn't care less, who couldn't care less about them. But yeah, he kind of gives the ultimatum, which everyone's not really on board with, of either Fury gives him the DNA or he's going to cause a war and kill everyone. Which I guess escalates the stakes. It's a bit less interesting, but I guess let's escalate stakes. So that's where everyone's at. I'm gonna bounce because Edsky might be able to have my facial expression. Something is going on I have to go deal with, but I think that's, this series has been very miss on tone. So really it comes down to how it delivers. But I am very, very kind of, it wasn't really the tense spy thriller, second guessing mystery plot I expected. But we'll do a bigger in-depth review next week because I have to bounce very quickly. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.